It is absolutely amazing how time flies. This year we are celebrating 30 years since the very first time the Springboks of South Africa were crowned world champions, lifting that Web Ellis Cup for the very first time. So it makes sense then that this will be 365 days, not only of celebration, but big announcements, just like the announcement that we are gathered to hear today. A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mutsidisi Mohono. It's my honor to be a part of this momentous occasion in South African rugby yet again. Thank you also to the Sandton City management for accommodating us here as we gather for this huge announcement. I also would like to ask, ladies and gentlemen, that wherever you are seated now, please hold your spot. No getting up, as this is a live broadcast. We are live on SuperSport Rugby, channel 211, SuperSport Blitz, channel 200, SABC 2, and SABC Plus. So I don't want people's beautiful ponytails in the shot. All right, so why have we gathered here today? I'm going to be calling someone to give us a rundown of that. But first, let's just greet our dignitaries who have joined us today. The Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, the Honourable Gayton McKenzie. The Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies, the Honourable Solly Malatsi. South African Rugby President, Mr. Mark Alexander. SABC Group CEO, Nomsa Chabeli. And SuperSport CEO, Rendani, Ramovha. Also, SA Rugby CEO is also here, Rian Orozo. Thank you so much for joining us. All the staff from the SA Rugby channels, as well as SuperSport, as well as SABC, members of the media, rugby lovers. We have gathered here for a big announcement. I'm going to hand it over now to SA Rugby President, Mr. Mark Alexander, to tell us exactly why we have all gathered here today.
The Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, the Minister of Communications, Solly Malatsi, Nomsa, from the SABC, and Rendani, Ramovha from SuperSport. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you for being here. This year, as we mark the 30th anniversary of the historic 1995 Rugby World Cup, we come together to celebrate a moment that transcends sport, a moment that became a lasting symbol of unity, hope, and reconciliation for South Africa. The Springbok triumph over New Zealand in the gripping final at Ellis Park was just not an extraordinary achievement on the field. It was a defining chapter in our national story. That unforgettable image of Nelson Mandela embracing Francois Pienaar as a united nation stood and cheered continues to echo in the hearts and the minds of South Africans to this day. It was a moment that captured the attention of the world, revealed the unmatching power of sport to bring people together, to heal deep wounds, and to inspire a country that was filled but still finding its feet in this young democracy. That team represented far more than athletic excellence. They represented a shared dream, a dream of what South Africa could become when united behind a common purpose. In honor of this legacy, South African rugby will be staging a commemorative celebration during one of our test matches in Gqeberha. This moment was more than a reflection on the past. It will be a moment of pride and inspiration for current and future generations. And in the spirit of national unity, I'm pleased to announce that the celebration will be broadcast across the country. We are working closely with the broadcasters to ensure that all South Africans, wherever they may be, will be part of this historic occasion. Tonight, our broadcast partners will share further details on how the celebration will unfold and how you can tune in. This anniversary belongs to all of us. It's a celebration of how far we come and a reaffirmation of our shared journey forward. Thank you once again for your presence tonight and for your unwavering support of the Springboks, of rugby, and of United South Africa. Let's celebrate the memory, the magic, and the movement that began in 1995. And that continues to move forward for us. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over back to Mods to call on the next speaker. Thank you.
The magic, the memory, and now the moment from 1995 will be carried through this year as well, broadcast live on two of the biggest ones, SABC Sport as well as SuperSport International. To speak a little bit more about what the viewer can look forward to, please put your hands together for the SABC Group CEO, Nomsa, Chabeli.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Molweni, Dumelang, Sanbonani, Fuenang. Good evening to the ministers, Minister of Digital Technologies, my minister, Minister Solly Malatsi, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister McKenzie, the President of South African Rugby Union, Mr. Alexander, and of course, my colleague Rendani Ramovha. I'm so excited to be standing here in front of you this evening after, the announcement from the President of SARU that today the SABC, together with SuperSport and the South African Rugby Union, is proud to confirm a broadcast agreement that will see the second Castle Lager inbound series test match between our beloved Springboks and Italy's Azzurri aired live on SABC2, SABC radio platforms, and SuperSport on DSTV. This historic match will take place on Saturday the 12th at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in Gqeberha. Notice that I pronounced that properly. Ladies and gentlemen, this is no ordinary match. This is a momentous occasion for all of us because it commemorates that famous 30th anniversary of the Springboks' 1995 Rugby World Cup victory. Who will ever forget that? A moment that united a newly democratic South Africa. It healed our wounds and gave us all a sense of pride and a sense of purpose that we carry even today. And as the public broadcaster, we view it as our mandate and responsibility to bring such a defining national moment to every South African. Whether you are sitting in a township, you are in Sandton City, in a village, every South African, every citizen should be able to relive the spirit of 1995, which is a spirit of hope, a spirit of unity, and above all, a spirit of excellence. We therefore extend our deepest appreciation to SARU and to SuperSport for enabling this collaborative agreement. This partnership is testament to one thing, to the power of shared purpose, where commercial imperatives and public interest converge to serve a higher calling, and that is nation building, which is very critical to all of us as South Africans. And of course, we recognize the power and celebrate the power of rugby in shaping our national identity. Who can forget how they brought us together in very powerful ways in 1995, in 2007, in 2019, and again in 2023. And now here we are in 2025, we honor that enduring legacy. So what I want to say in closing is that this is more than a broadcast, it is a national celebration, a reminder of what binds us as South Africans, and a proud signal that public broadcasting still matters, because every South African will get a front row seat to this history. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nomsa. I think it also makes sense then that we still have a little bit of Madiba magic on the go, as the match will be played at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. So lots to look forward to. I hope you guys get your tickets. I hope you guys get your flight tickets so we can all watch the Springboks in action in that second test. How is it going to come onto your televisions? Well, SuperSport International CEO is going to tell you all about that. Please put your hands together for Rendani. Ramovha.
We're just joking now that this is live and then this happens. So, good evening, everyone. Evening. I think greetings, Honourable Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Mr. Gayton McKenzie. Greetings to the Honourable Minister of Communications and Digital Technology, Mr. Solly Malatsi. Greetings to the SARA President, Mr. Mark Alexander, and to my colleague, the SABC Group CEO, Nomsa, and to all the media and everyone in attendance. Thank you for joining us for this special announcement. SuperSport and the Springboks have this year come together to celebrate 30 years achievement in rugby, starting since 1995. In celebration of this, we have invited the public broadcaster to join us on this historic journey. As we heard from the SABC, we'll broadcast the second Castle inbound series test match between the Springboks and Italy on the 12th of July. This once-off broadcast is in recognition of the historical day in 1995 when the Springboks electrified the global stage and stole everyone's hearts and basically won the World Cup. Of course, as SuperSport, we pride ourselves in bringing the country the best sports and coverage and the best sports and content and entertainment. In the last 30 years, we have brought you the Springboks winning the 2007, 2019 and the 2023 Rugby World Cups. We brought you Ricky January's try, thank you for that acknowledgement on the side there. We brought you Ricky January's try to beat the All Blacks at the House of Pain in Dunedin. There were many other moments that fans found remotely and remembered, but another reminder is when Brian Havana broke the Sharks' hearts in the Super Rugby final, and many moments in cricket, many moments in football and in Olympics. And I asked the president here, I asked him for permission to be able to go through his monologue, because SuperSport is turning 30 years this year, and 30 years is difficult to almost try and summarize in one speech. But whether it was the Proteas winning the ICC Test Championships or the 4-3-8 game at the Wanderers, SuperSport was there to bring all the action live. Ernie Els winning the College Jack, Trevor, Emelan and Charles Schwartzel winning the Green Blazer, we were there. We were there when Lionel Messi's Champions League wins and the FIFA World Cup crowning moment with Argentina. We showcased with Rocha Manchester United, and I'm going to change that to Man City, Manchester City, dominating the Premier League and Mamelodi Sundowns doing the same with the PSL here at home. In the last 30 years, SuperSport has grown to become the leading live sports broadcaster of the globe, and we remain the only place to do it. I'm going to repeat that for dramatic effect. In the last 30 years, SuperSport has grown to become the leading sports broadcaster on the globe, and we will remain the only place to watch it. We are the only place where fans can get all their sports, all their time, all their Formula One, all their FIFA Club World Cup, Women's AFCON, Women's Euro, Women's Cricket, Rugby World Cup, and this is just this year. And through multiple activities and digital, on air and on the ground, SuperSport will be celebrating its shared achievements with the reigning Rugby World Champions through inspiring interactive initiatives with our most valuable stakeholders, the passionate viewers and Springbok fans. The fans will get to participate in our unique Springbok Dream Team campaign, where they will get to select all-time favorite Springbok 15 members over the last 30 years, going from position to position for every week until the ultimate Dream Team will be announced towards the back end of the year. I asked the teams checkingly on the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture on the selection criteria, but I think we'll have that discussion offline. But we're excited to be part of this historic celebration with SA Rugby and the SABC. We are also proud of our loyal subscribers and our viewers who are the backbone of our business. We'd like to thank South Africans for standing behind SuperSport, and as the World of Champions, we promise to deliver more spectacular moments for another 30 years. Thank you.
Should have called the TMO for this one. Thank you so much, Mr. Rendani Ramovha. All right, now I'm going to call on the Minister of Arts, Sports, Arts and Culture, the Honourable Gayton McKenzie, who I know is big on nation building, and I can't wait to hear his thoughts on this partnership.
The President of SARU, the Minister, the boss of SABC and the boss of SuperSport. I was told this is life. Have you ever had the episode that you want to forget? When I was appointed as the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, my first rodeo was the All Black game. And nobody told me how these things work. I just heard, go down with the president of SARU, you'll meet him on the field and go greet the players. I didn't know that there are times involved in these things. So when I came to the dugout, there was a policeman from Cape Town. They're like, Minister, hoe gaan het? Ik say, all right, can you take a picture? I say, salute. And we start taking pictures. But nobody tells me that the game is supposed to start. I'm taking selfies, everything. I get to the field. Everything is late. I still greet Tatiana, and I start greeting the players, and then all hell broke loose. The plane came over, the DJ played Sister Bettina while the haka's on, and I'm like, this is very unprofessional of them. So I get to the office to get back. I said, I want an investigation. What went wrong? And my special advisor goes like, so, President of SARU and SABC Nomsa and Rendani, I just want to say to you, it's a very happy day for me. I tell you why. Because the Springboks belong to the whole country. And such an important game will be shown live and everybody will be able to watch it. But we must also be honest and understand things. They can't give all the games currently for free, because this is what's keeping our sports alive. But when they opened their hearts, myself and the minister, we met with them, there was no problem. So people will be able to watch the game. So stop complaining when you see me. On the 12th, I had, since you must get a plane ticket. You don't need to get a plane ticket, just switch on your TV and you can watch on your TV even if you don't have that. But I must also let the cat out of the bag. Broadcasting these games is not free for the likes of SuperSport. They pay for it. Myself and the minister, we have hatched a plan. I'm not going to tell you what the plan is, but the plan is to make sure that SuperSport does not lose money, SABC does not lose money, and we bring the games. So the only thing that can stand between that plan and it happening is reshuffling. But in conclusion, you know, you talk about reshuffling. I got a call from the president 2 months ago. And I said, yes, Minister, yes, Your Excellency. He says, Minister, I'm calling you in connection with a reshuffle. I said, President, isn't it too early for a reshuffle? He said, no, we're just reshuffling one person. I said, yeah, reshuffle her. So I want to congratulate Stefan and Danielle with this shop. You guys are true entrepreneurs. You believe in this country. What you've done is not an everyday thing. You came up with a plan, you followed through on your plan. I remember when you were still selling clothes out of the boot of your car. And here we are today. It shows dreams do come true. I saw you in London. Thank you so much for what you are doing for sports in this country. And to the staff that's going to work here, I feel sorry for you girls and boys, because this shop is going to be very, very busy. But whatever you do, don't forget who was your first customer. I bought this t-shirt here today for me. I know that some that says you probably got it for free. I bought it. I've got my slip. I bought this t-shirt. I didn't get it for free. Lastly, I want to say, last night I went to the Italy Day. South Africans just remain South Africans. The evening was nice. with Italians. And then somebody in the wisdom decided to ask Nas Botha, what do you think? Who's going to win? Nas said, obviously the Springboks. By how much? And Nas Botha, I looked at him, I thought he's going to say 5 or 6 or... Nas Botha said, by 40. So I put my head down. And the South African said, oh, that's first half. What about second half? Thank you very much. Nice speaking to you. Thank you.
I mean, no pressure to the national team. You heard it, 40 points in the first half. But this is the other part of today's proceedings, the opening of the official Springbok Store here at Sandton City, and we will get into that proceeding in just a moment. I just wanted to also say to the members of the media, there won't be a Q&A session during this opening today. You can do one-on-one interviews as per request. Please do find Springbok Jigeli, so I know he's here around somewhere. Our colleague in media, he'll be able to assist you with the one-on-ones a little later. So before we get into the ribbon cutting into the store proper, I'd like to call onto the stage the Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies, the Honorable Solly Malatsi.
Thanks very much, CDC, and ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's always a joy to be in the company of the Minister of Sports. There's never a dull moment. There's never a dull moment. But this is indeed a source for celebration, because for some of us who grew up in the villages, when in 1994 we heard of the Springboks, it seemed like an unattainable imagination. And all we heard was the late Chester Williams and the Springboks, right? So for us, rugby and the Rugby World Cup was symbolized by those two moments. And it's quite interesting that this celebration of the 30th anniversary of South Africa winning that cup is being celebrated in Gqeberha at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. And we're seeing the coming together of the two biggest broadcasters in the country to make sure that this is delivered to each and every home in the country so that every South African can view this. In 1995, I was a very young man. I won't reveal my age, but I'm sure you can tell I was very, very young. And we were able to enjoy that by watching it on SABC. And now 30 years later, through a partnership between SuperSport and the SABC, young people also will live to tell their story many years later of how this game that symbolizes our victory was broadcasted. The Minister of Sports is right. Sports broadcasting is very expensive, and it requires that someone has to pay for it. And our responsibility as government leaders, Minister, is to make sure that we work together to ensure that everyone can view it. And we don't get the headaches we normally get around these games. This is probably the first time in the lead up to a Springboks match that he didn't call me about the SABC broadcasting or not broadcasting this. So I was also very relieved not to get a call from you, Minister. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our official proceedings regarding the official announcement. So whether you're switching on your radio, your television, whether you're digitally on digital platforms, wherever you'll be walking around, even if you find yourself in the store while the match is on, you know you will be able to tune in and see the Springboks in action against Italy. Speaking of which, Mark, I wanted to ask you, the inspiration behind the Springbok Store here in Sandton City, what was it exactly?
We wanted to offer our fans more than just merchandise. This store is a celebration of our national pride, of our heritage, and the incredible journey of the Springboks.
And what can fans expect merchandise-wise? What is here that I will enjoy?
I think the shoppers can expect exclusive collection, limited edition items that you'll find nowhere else. And this is, as I said, this is where our fans will meet. Celebrate, they'll come to our store.
This is the flag.
This is the place.
That champion cap, will I find it here?
You find everything here.
I'll find everything here, okay. Without further ado, Mark, I'm going to ask you to step up to the ribbon. Lady and gentlemen, we're going to clear the chairs as we do the official cutting to officially open the Springbok Store here at Sandton City. Ministers, if you could also please show me, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, the Minister of Communication. Let's open the store, let's get it open Let's get shopping. But maybe let's take a picture before we cut in front of the ribbon. Yeah. And then we can cut.
I ask the minister to keep